Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Readathon TBR. I am just like probably taking on too much and I don't expect to read through all of these. But yeah, anyway, well, let's just go ahead and get into it. So there's another readathon that I wanted to participate in, and this one is called Battle of the Secret Societies. This is like a back to school type of a readathon. It is hosted on Discord by the Tilted Kettle Book Club. So this takes place throughout the whole month of September. This is, holy cow, how many readathons am I doing now? Hang on. Okay. So, not including my Catwalk TBR game. We have Killers versus Final Girls. Seasonathon Academy. Monsters University Readathon, which I don't know what those prompts are until the start of September. Same thing goes for the Sufferathon Hotel Readathon. And then there's the Pick-Pong-a-thon. I always want to say thong. It's Pick-Pong-a-thon. Got it right that time. That's 5. Well, and now this one, Battle of the Secret Societies. I have tried to get books on the other 5 Readathon TBRs onto this one for the Battle of the Secret Societies, but I've had to add books, which is fine. It gives me more options to pick from. And so 6 readathons plus my Catwalk TBR game. So a lot of books, and some of the ones on this particular readathon are thick. So again, this one is hosted by the Tilted Kettle Book Club on Discord. And so Battle of the Secret Societies is a battle between 2, and you're reading for points. So there's Team Skull and Bones, which the captains are Nicole and Lindsay. And then there's Team Scroll and Key, and the captains for that team are Ruby and Megan. I have been sorted onto Team Skull and Bones. So couple of rules. The books need to be 200 or more pages. You can only use 1 graphic novel, manga, or comic out of all of the prompts. The age categories need to be middle grade or higher. And then it is 1 prompt per book type of a thing. So no doubling up. You get 10 points if it fulfills a non-team prompt, which I'm not exactly sure about that one. 15 points for a team prompt. So if I read all of these books, it's 15 points per book. Or no. 15 points for the team prompt. There's 1 team prompt. Okay, and then it's 5 points for every book over 350 pages. It's 10 points if it reaches 500 pages or more, 15 points if it's 750 pages or more, which I have 1 that counts for that one, and 5 points for a book outside of the prompts. So, and if it's not in any of the prompts, doesn't fit any of the prompts, you do not get points for the page count. So, those are the basic. You'll have to join the Tilted Kettle Book Club if you want to try to get more information, but that's the information that I have. So there are a total of 9 prompts. So let's go ahead and get into this. One of them I have yet to pick the book for. So this stack here on the front are all the books that fit all of the prompts. Okay. And then I have a stack behind it, which one of those books will be converted into this stack, and I'll let you know when we get there. So let's go ahead and delve in. So book number 1 is Geography, or the prompt is Geography. And this is to read a book that has a map on the cover or on the pages. For this one, I am going to go with A Time of Blood by John Gwynne. This is book number 2 in Of Blood and Bone series. This series follows the events of the Faithful and the Fallen series, also by John Gwynne, so I can't tell you anything about this, but it is very war-heavy. Think Viking. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed, so a lot of sword fighting, bows and arrows, good versus evil, that type of a thing. It has very, very much Viking vibes, which I've absolutely, absolutely loved. And so this is A Time of Blood again, and the book 1 in this particular trilogy is A Time of Dread. This trilogy you need to read after The Faithful and the Fallen, because again it takes place after the events of the first series, which is 4 books, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 books. So just so you are. So I can't tell you anything outside of what I've just told you, because then we're into spoiler territory. So there is that one. Okay. Now, how am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to move this stack over here. And then I can start making this stack here. There we go. Okay. Prompt number 2 is PE, so for physical education. And this is to read a book where an author uses initials. Now, I had already picked a book. The book I was going to do was Sleepwalker by R.L. Stine, and then I remembered, oh crap, it has to be 250 pages or more. Sleepwalker is I think it's less than 175 pages, so it definitely does not fit, but it definitely is less than the 200 page count. So this book that I'm going to show you, the author does use initials, but I have not hauled it yet. I just barely bought it. So spoiler for a upcoming book haul. But the book I have chosen is Dead Water by C.A. Fletcher. So that's the cover. It says, on the edge of the North Atlantic lies a remote Scottish isle. The residents are a mix of those born and bred on the land and newcomers seeking a slower, quieter way of life, away from the modern world. All have their own secrets, some much darker than others. And when a strange water-borne blight begins to infect them all, those secrets come to light. Rumors claim the blight may be a case of mass hysteria, or even a long-buried curse. Ferry service fails, phone towers go down, and slowly inconvenience transforms into nightmarish ordeal as the outwardly harmonious fabric of the community is irreversibly torn apart. That sounds really good. And this was just a straight up cover buy. I hadn't read the synopsis until now, and holy cow, this sounds good. So I'm really excited. I'm going to have to prioritize that one. I'm really excited for that one. Okay, moving on. The next prompt is history. This is to read a book that was published before 2020. For this one, I am going with Death Overdue, written by Allison Brook. This was published in 2017. And this is the start of a new cozy mystery series. It says, Carrie Singleton is just about done with Clover Ridge, Connecticut, until she's offered a job as the head of programs and events at the spooky local library, complete with its own librarian ghost. Her first major event is a program presented by a retired homicide detective, Al Buckley, who claims he knows who murdered Laura Foster, a much-loved part-time library aide who was bludgeoned to death 15 years earlier. As he invites members of the audience to share stories about Laura, he suddenly keels over and dies. The medical examiner reveals that poison is what did him in, and Carrie feels responsible for having surged forward with the program despite pushback from her director. Driven by guilt, Carrie's determined to discover who murdered the detective, convinced it's the same man who killed Laura all those years ago. Luckily for Carrie, she has a friendly, knowledgeable ghost by her side. But as she questions the shadows surrounding Laura's case, disturbing secrets come to light. And with each step Carrie takes, she gets closer to ending up like Al. Now it's do or die. So, Death Overdue. Okay, moving on. Prompt number 4 is chemistry. This is to read a book that has a character in STEM or has potions and poisons in it. And I think this actually covers both of them. Or at least it deals with chemicals. Anyway, but this one definitely has a character that is in STEM. For those of you who don't know, STEM, S-T-E-M, is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, a character in STEM. This one I am going with A Lady's Formula for Love by Elizabeth Everett. So that is the cover. It says, Lady Violet Hughes is keeping secrets. First, she founded a clandestine sanctuary for England's most brilliant female scientists. So there's the STEM part. Second, she is using her genius on a confidential mission for the Crown. The biggest secret of all, her feelings for Protection Officer Arthur Neeland. Solitary and reserved, Arthur learned the hard way to put duty first. But the more time he spends in the company of Violet and the eccentric club members, the more his best intentions go up in flames, literally. When a shadowy threat infiltrates Violet's laboratories, endangering her life and her work, scientist and bodyguard will find all their theories put to the test and learn that the most important discoveries are those of the heart. It sounds like a very cute, sweet read. Okay, Okay, prompt number 5 is Archeology. This is to read a book that has skull and or bones on the cover or in the title. And this is the team prompt. So this one actually covers both of them. There is a skull on the cover as well as in the title. So this one I've really been wanting to get to this one, but I just have never reached for it. But it is The Bone Witch. So as you can see, there is a skull there and bone in the title. So The Bone Witch by Chupeco, I'm guessing is how that is said. This one says, T is different from the other witches in her family. Her gift for necromancy makes her a bone witch, who are feared and ostracized in the kingdom, for theirs is a powerful elemental magic that can reach beyond the boundaries of the living and of the human. Great power comes at a price, forcing T to leave her homeland to train under the guidance of an older, wiser bone witch. There, T puts all of her energy into becoming an Asha, learning to control her elemental magic and those beasts who will submit by no other force. And T must be strong, stronger than she even believes possible. Because war is brewing in the 8 kingdoms, war that will threaten the sovereignty of her homeland and threaten the very survival of those she loves. So, The Bone Witch. Okay. Prompt number 6 is Humanities. This is to read a book that takes place not in the Western or a European setting. This one was a little bit more difficult. I am not good with geography at all, so I had to do a Google search. And let me see, the website that came up is sarahsbookshelves.com, SARAHS, bookshelves.com. So sarahsbookshelves.com. And she lists 12 books that are set outside of the US, but not in Europe. So outside of the Western and European. And the one book that she has listed that follows this prompt, and this is what I'm going with because I suck at geography, is 1Q84. This is a chunker of a book. And this is written by Haruki Murakami. There is no synopsis on the back, and this is, now I did find out that this is actually like, this edition combines 3 different books in the IQ84. So, yeah, see, this is book 2. So it combines books 1 through 3. So book 1, if I only wanted to read book 1, looks like it's 407 pages. But the combination of all 3 is 1,157 pages. So I don't know, maybe I'll just do book 1. But then it's like I have this whole thing and I may as well read the whole thing. So I don't know. But 1Q84, there's no synopsis on the back. I mean, it literally says it's a love story, a mystery, a fantasy, a novel of self-discovery, a dystopia to rival George Orwell's. A tremendous feat of imagination. But I do have this pulled up on Goodreads. So I'm going to read the synopsis from Goodreads. It says, a young woman named Amame follows a taxi driver's enigmatic suggestion and begins to notice puzzles. Let me start over. A young woman follows a taxi driver's enigmatic suggestion and begins to notice puzzling discrepancies in the world around her. She has entered, she realizes, a parallel existence which she calls IQ84. Q is for question mark. A world that bears a question. Meanwhile, an aspiring writer named Tango takes on a suspect ghostwriting project. He becomes so wrapped up in the work and its unusual author that soon his previously placid life begins to come unraveled. As their narratives converge over the course of this single year, we learn of the profound and tangled connections that bind them ever closer. A beautiful dyslexic teenage girl with a unique vision, a mysterious religious cult that instigated a shootout with the Metropolitan Police, a reclusive wealthy dowager who runs a shelter for abused women, a hideously ugly private investigator, a mild-mannered yet ruthlessly efficient bodyguard, and a peculiarly insistent television fee collector. And then it goes on what I just said, where it's like a love story and all of that. So, yeah, I'm not sure where it takes place. Oh, it says Japan and Japanese literature. So, let me do another Google search. Is Japan... Okay, so Japan is not considered a European country, and let's see, I just want to double check, because I suck at geography. I suck. Is Japan a Western country? Okay, now it does say it is part of the West, but it only says in some contexts. So when I hear people talk about this, and it says it's located far east, so I'm going to slot it in, and if it ends up not working, I'll have to find a completely different book, but as of right now, that's what I'm going to count. So if you know for sure and are good at geography, and you know for sure if IQ84 will count as a book that does not take place in a Western or a European setting, please let me know one way or the other for sure. As of right now, that's what I have slotted in. Because again, I suck at geography, so I'm going off of a brief Google search, and that's it. So, okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next prompt. Okay, now this one is the one where I'm going to have to move a book from the other stack. So the prompt for this one is mathematics, and this is to have a random generator choose to basically you write a list of 10 books, you use a random generator to choose one of those 10 books from that list, and that is the book that's being added. So I do have a list. Okay, the books I have on this list are right here. Now, from 1 to number 10, I have 13 Stories, The Night Will Find Us, Witch Please, The Stroke of Winter, Girl from Raw Blood, A Cat Cafe Christmas, Someone Just Like You, The Queen of the Damned, Summer at the Cornish Beach Cafe, and Escape Room. So those are the books. Okay, now I'm going to get a random number generator. Okay, so 1 to 10. Okay. All right, so as you can see, it's on number 4, so let's generate and we'll find out what I'm supposed to go with. Number 7. Okay. Someone Just Like You is the selection. Okay. So this is the book that will fulfill that prompt. Someone Just Like You. This one says, New Yorker Molly Bloom knows everything about her lifelong nemesis, Jude Stark. With their families so close, they should have been best friends. Instead, she thinks he's a too charming slacker, and he thinks she's allergic to fun. After years of one-upping each other's pranks, chocolate-dipped cat treats are not as delicious as they appear. One high school joke went too far, and they stopped speaking immediately. But now that they're supposed to help plan a massive party for their parents together, there's no better time to resume their war. And it is on. Only somewhere between all the snipping and harmless hijinks, a reluctant friendship develops, along with an unexpected spark of sexual tension. It might have to do with the fact that she's been dating Jude lookalikes and he's been dating Molly doppelgangers, or the fact that neither of them is nearly as horrible as they thought. All Molly and Jude know is that they've mastered the art of hating each other. Falling in love, on the other hand, is a whole new battlefield. So, and this is by Meredith Schorr, looks like. So this will fit that prompt. So I'm going to write that down real quick. So prompt number 8 is astronomy. This is to read a book that takes place in space or a book that has stars or a constellation on the cover. Now, this one might cover both of them. It's been a long time since I've read the synopsis, but I'm going with Zodiac by Romina Russell. It says, beware the 13th sign. So as you can see, there's stars and there's actually a constellation, 2 constellations on the cover. So it fits that part. In a galaxy where your sign determines which planet you call home, Ro, the young guardian of Cancer, must find a way to unite the divided houses of the zodiac before an ancient evil destroys them all. So I'm not sure if this takes place in space, but it does fulfill the part where it can be constellations or stars on the cover. So continuing on, it says, but who will believe anything this young novice says? Whom can Ro trust in a universe defined by differences? And how can she convince 12 worlds to unite as one zodiac? And this is book 1 in a series. It looks like the next one is called Wandering Star. But I only have the first one and I haven't read it and I've had it for a bit. But okay, so that's on the TBR. Okay, and the final prompt is general studies. And this is to read a book that has a school setting. Okay, for this one I'm going to go with a middle grade, and this I can finish in one day. It has pictures and the font is large, and this is book number 4 in a series. I do have book number 5 up on deck to read at some point, but this is just a really fun series. It's kind of, think diary type, so it's like you're reading someone's diary or journal. But yes, this does take place in a school. Not 100% of the time. Obviously, some's going to take place at after-school activities or at home, but for the most part, this is a school setting. And I'm going to go with Dork Diaries. This is number 4, written by Rachel Renee Russell. This is Tales from a Not-So-Graceful Ice Princess. And there is no synopsis on the back. So you're following... crap, what is her name? Nikki. So you're following Nikki. She writes about her experiences at school. It takes place at school. It talks about her experience with the bully at school and stuff that she has with family and things like that. So school setting, journal, diary format. So Dork Diaries number 4. At middle grade. So yeah, so those are the books. This stack are all the books that I would hope to get to. Plus I have a whole bunch more, but these books particularly for this readathon, which again is the Battle of the Secret Societies, and I am on Team Skull and Bones. So let me know, are you participating in this particular readathon? What are some of the books that you were looking forward to getting to for the month of September? Talk to me in the comment section below, and until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I'll talk to you later.